night spontaneous live for your tips and tidbits. Hello, glorious marriage revolution. I don't really expect that many people to get on live, but I just, wanted to do a live one tonight, like I do sometimes, every now and again. Hey, Brandy. Hello to you people hopping on. I like to do these spontaneous live tips and tidbits every now and again because I like to see you guys live. I miss doing that, and I don't always, it's like with life happening the way it's been happening lately, I haven't been able to get back to our Monday nights, but they're coming. But tonight our live tips and tidbits is kind of coming from Proverbs 15:1, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So my tips and tidbits tonight are for both of you together. I was just reading through this little book that I have, and it just sparked something in my mind. It was talking about speaking with gentleness, and I thought, oh man, that is something that we all struggle with from time to time, and how words that we speak to one another can cause us to be hard and hardened and kind of have our dukes up all the time, or we can speak with gentleness. So Proverbs 15:1 says this: a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And I don't know how many of you have experienced that in your life before, where you respond with harshness, or your husband responds to you with harshness, and maybe your intention was not to have a fight picked, but suddenly his reaction to you sparked something in you, and it caused something to rise up in you, and so you reacted in anger, whereas if a gentle answer or a gentle word had been spoken back to you, it would have turned away any wrath. So I'm just curious if any of you experienced anything like that. I know I have. In our marriage, we've both done that to each other over the years, where we have spoke harshly when really we could have just spoken just as easily with gentleness of our words and hearts and minds, and it wouldn't have gone down the path that it went down. Anybody else ever been down that path before? So hey to everybody's that's hopping on. Hey Brandy. Hey Christy. Oh my gosh, it's good to see your name on here, girl. Hey Melinda. Hey Chantel. Hey Madeline. Hey Maggie. How's everybody tonight? It's good to see you guys. I think there's more people on than that because the number says there is, but those are the names that I see at the moment. So it's so good to see you. I know I was going back actually earlier. Hey Miss Myra. Oh, how are you? I miss seeing you, and I love you. I hope everything's well. I was going back, something prompted me, and in the pop tomorrow morning, if you get on and watch the pops that we do each morning, in the pop in the morning, I am referring to one of the old videos that I did back in GMR, and I went to find the link so that I could post it along with the video for tomorrow, and that led me to some of the old earlier videos, and it caused me to sort of reminisce in my mind about those early days of GMR and all the messages that I used to get back in the day. I still get them, but not nearly as many all at one time as I used to get back when GMR first started. But there were hundreds and hundreds of messages that would come in from you ladies. Some of you are new, but ladies who used to send me messages about their marriages, asking us to pray and just kind of filling me in to start with, because I thought that I would be able to answer questions that we posted in this page, asking how long you've been married, how is your marriage doing, like what season of life is your marriage in, and do you know Jesus is your Lord and Savior? And I thought, well, I can probably handle answering these questions, and it won't be a big deal. When hundreds started coming in all at one time, it was really hard. So I was going back and watching some of these videos, and I was remembering just the heaviness and the weight of what some of you have been through and still are going through, and the Lord just took me back there for a few minutes. And as I was thinking about the tips and tidbits for today, I know I'm late in that, it's just how the days go and get, but I was thinking about the marriage tips and tidbits, and I couldn't help but think that so many of us may even still be in the place where we were when GMR first started. Maybe you're still in that place. And I said over and over and over again back then, change is coming, change is coming. and maybe you haven't seen change, or maybe you saw some change in the beginning, but you're kind of back to where you were, back to square one, and so you've been disheartened and you've given up a little bit, and things have just kind of not gone the way that you expected them to go. But I want to encourage you today that a good place to start is right here in gentle answers, gentleness of speech, speaking with kindness, and not causing your husband, your spouse, if men, or if you're watching, not causing your wife to be hardened to you. Make it a practice that you speak gently to one another. I think that is so very important for us to do. We each need to be cared for, and you need to view your spouse as more important than you would just a stranger on the street or a coworker. So many times we speak more gently and more kind to someone in a grocery store or a coworker than we do our own spouse, the one that we've committed to do this life with. We speak so harshly to each other, and we don't realize how far a gentle and kind word will go in our own home with our own spouse that we have committed to spend this life together until death do us part. And yet we're so harsh with each other, and constant harshness will grow a hard shell over us over time, and it brings up something in us that isn't natural. It isn't natural to be angry and mad at each other all the time. That's just not natural. That's not what God made us to be to one another. He made us to love each other, and He made us to support each other, and He made us to fight for each other. And so it causes, over time, harshness causes a hard shell to grow, and that's not what we need to do. We need to bring out the best in each other, and the best way to do that is to practice at being kind and being nice to each other. I know my parents have always said, everything's just better when we're laughing and when we're loving each other. It's just not fun to fight all the time, and I can honestly say, my parents just don't. They never really have. They've never had harshness of words and anger. There's just been very little ever that I've seen my parents at each other, and even at that, when they were, it wasn't even being at each other. They were still kind, and it didn't last long. Whatever it was, it didn't last long. And so I'm thankful for that heritage and example that was set before me. However, I still have to choose to do that in my own marriage. And Brian and I have had very few harsh words over the years, and I'm thankful for that. But we have to practice it. We have to actually put it into practice to be kind to one another and to speak well to each other all the time. Proverbs 16:24 says, "Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones." Being kind to your spouse actually brings health to the bones. It helps to, and I'm reading a book, and I hope and pray that, I really want the Lord to allow me to do this, and I feel like maybe this is where we're going to go next, but it may be hard for me to put it in simple terms. But I am reading a book by, oh my gosh, her name just left me. It's called, it's a 21-day detox. What is her name? It just left I'm sorry, y'all. My brain just quit on me for a second. But it's about detoxing the brain. And I absolutely love it, because she's talking about how we're hardwired the way God made us. We are hardwired for love, okay? God did not make us for harshness. And so when we're speaking kind words to each other, this where it says here, pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. When we're speaking kindness to each other, it'll actually lower our stress levels. Like, I don't know about you, but when your husband's speaking kindness to you, there's something in you that just sort of melts, It's like, oh, it just melts my heart. Oh, well, you know what? It actually happens that way. It's a chemical response in your brain. We respond to kindness. That's why sadly, if in your marriage you are not accustomed to being spoken to with kindness, and another person comes and speaks to you with kindness and understanding, you're drawn to it. Okay, so the enemy will use that and he'll use that against you and turn it and twist it and cause problems in your marriage. So if you are not accustomed to hearing kindness, or you're not accustomed to speaking kindness, we want to reverse that. We want to reverse it, back up the train, and retrain yourself to speak words that are sweet, that is going to bring healing to the bones of your spouse, healing to the spirit of your spouse. And in so doing, it's going to heal you. It's going to heal you. We're able to speak these words, and when these words come out of our mouth, it changes us. So my tips and tidbits for today is speak with gentleness to your spouse. Speak with kindness to your spouse. And remember that a gentle answer will turn away anger, but a harsh word will stir up wrath, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to speak. And Brian always talks about diffusing a fire, putting out the fire. Do whatever you can to diffuse the situation instead of pouring gasoline on the fire. You want to put the fire out. So speaking with gentleness and kindness is always the way to go. It's never wrong. It's never wrong to speak with kindness and gentleness. Always, always do that. Retrain the way you think. Speak with kindness and gentleness. That is my marriage tips and tidbits for this day. I hope you've had a marvelous and beautiful day today. I hope you have an even better day tomorrow. Every day is a great day to have a great day. By the way, you do have a glorious marriage. Work on it. Night, y'all.